in Arlington, Virginia. We went and I said, hey, Mike, I don't know if you've been out to dinner with black people before, but I'm going to let you know when the bill comes, nobody's going to volunteer to pay that bill. I know when you probably go out with your people, someone grabs a check and say, no, Eric, I got it this time. I got it. That's not going to happen here tonight. Let me assure you. I said, you're going to see some arguing. And sure enough,
What up? It's three brothers, no sense. I'm Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg. Join my co-host Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
Wonder Woman 3 got canceled.
Did it really?
Yeah. James Gunn walked in guns blazing, man. He is canceling things and turning things off. But I'm here for it, man. I think that's a good thing. DC needs that, or the DC extended universe, the movie universe needed that because it is all over the place. I mean, I like some of the stuff. We were just talking about Buff. The Batman got a lot of praise and everything. It actually wasn't a really bad, but it was boring when it comes to, you know, a superhero movie. And so that's most of the feedback that I got from it. So the people that like psychological thrillers and stuff like that would love it, right? I think that's what it leaned into, was that. And I think James Gunn is coming in and saying, look, we need something consistent. We need something that when people think of Batman, they think of this character, right? And we can actually take that character and put it in other movies, and we can have an interconnected extended universe instead of just all these multiversal 4 different Batmans running on the screens and all of that stuff. So I think he wants to have a more consistent approach to it, and that's why they canceled Wonder Woman 3, other than Wonder Woman 2 just sucked. I mean, Wonder Woman 84 or whatever it was, 83, it was horrible too. So DC has just been making a lot of slip ups, and so I'm down for it. Go clean house, reset, and make this thing right.
So they're not gonna do like Into the Batverse?
Yeah, they should do something like that. Well, that's kind of what they're doing with the Flash movie with the reset. And I think if they did it, Flashpoint. If they do Flashpoint and they do it right, I think that could be a really good movie to reset the universe with, and just kind of maybe do some reshoots or whatever, and just go ahead and do that. But then they have all the Ezra Miller issues that are out there, and do they even want to release that or not? I've heard talks where they're not even going to release it and all that. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's just all jacked up over there. But that would be a good movie to reset the universe and then have one consistent universe.
They can use Thanos Snap.
Yeah. I mean, they've reset it. I mean, with the New 52, that's how they got to the New 52. They had like an apocalypse type event. So there's a whole bunch of things they can do to reset it. I think James Gunn needs to come in and just say, this is the next movie, let's make that. And then from there, you can have a consistent theme, have everything compress on itself and get rid of the multiverse. But we'll see how they do it, because there's so many good stories in the DC universe, but you have to have an interconnected movie universe in order for them to work, because without it, you can't bring all the characters together, and you can't have them doing their things, and some of that like affects the other people. That's what makes Marvel so good, is that all the stuff is just kind of happening and one movie ties into the other.
They won't get until they bring Plastic Man.
Yo, Plastic Man is the truth though, for real. Like, don't look at Plastic Man from the cartoon and all that. Like, Plastic Man in the comic books was the truth. Like, yeah, real. So, but that's all I had, man. I did want to talk a little bit about Ted Cruz and his daughter. You know, we had our kind of suicide prevention discussion at the end of last episode. And that we don't know if it was an actual official attempted suicide, but the police were called to her house, or to their house, for her having self-inflicted stab wounds on her arms. And that's what the reports are saying. And for those that don't know, she came out as bisexual a few months ago. And so you guys know Ted Cruz is very much anti-LGBTQ and anti-gay and all of that. That's generally the Republican platform anyway. And
anti-American.
All that. But it's again during the holidays. Check on the people. Check on the folks that are strong, and definitely check on the folks that are people are coming after them, and they have to deal with a lot of negativity in their life already. Make sure that they're good, especially over the holidays.
I believe a family friend did come out and officially say it was a suicide attempt. I don't want to go as far as to say, mention what Ted Cruz's stance is on anything like that. I'll just leave it at, it's a very difficult situation. Anybody who has kids, even if you don't have kids, that's a difficult situation. And just pray that she pulls through whatever it is that she's battling, and be comfortable with herself. Being a teenager, as it is, I would imagine it's difficult with all this social media and stuff. I'm going to veer in a different direction. A long time ago, Tavares said we need to celebrate ourselves more. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to flex. I am not only a co-host of Three Brothers No Sense. I want the audience to know
I'm buffed.
I'm not that. Well, no. I guess that. But I am a 2006 Time Magazine Person of the Year, a 2022 Congressional Gold Medal recipient.
Nice.
As well.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Bro.
Appreciate it. I need you to throw in the applause.
I know, right?
That 2006 Time Magazine, that's an inside joke. You just got to Google that and see why I say that. But also, Three Brothers, man, we got featured in VoyageATL this week. So if you haven't, please check out that interview with us, man. We appreciate them, just publicizing us and putting us in their, I guess you say, online magazine. So thank you, VoyageATL, for that. And like I say, check it out. It's about us, bigging up our profile and whatnot. So a lot of good things going on amongst all we spoke on it last week, the personal loss both of you guys had. My thoughts and prayers are with you, and not the empty kind that you hear politicians say. My thoughts and prayers are truly with you, brothers. So
appreciate it.
If you need anything, y'all already know what to do. Let a brother know.
Appreciate that, bro.
Well, let me just take a sec. How are you brothers holding up? It's the holidays.
I told you how I'm doing.
He feeling himself.
Yeah, he feels.
No, I'm good.
That's good.
Bro.
That's good.
Yeah, as good as can be, right? I mean, like Byron said, there's a lot of loss out there, and that's why I'm really emotional about any other losses and all of that, and really feeling for other people right now, because especially with mine, and yours, I think, but a 19-year-old. I look at her almost like a niece. My cousin, me and my cousin, we grew up so close, pretty much every day. We all went to my grandma's house after school type thing, or she was over there every weekend we were together. So we grew up as siblings, even though we were cousins. And so, it's one of those things that at 19 years old, you don't expect that. The kids think they're invincible. And I think a little bit of that, we think they're invincible too. And so it's really, really difficult when you think about that, is losing somebody at that age. And so, again, I appreciate you bringing it up. I use this podcast as therapy. We've talked about that a few times. And so being able to talk about it and get it out and not bottle it up is a huge thing, man. So, appreciate you asking.
Yes, sir.
That's good. I don't have much again, fellas. Just happy to be here, honestly. As each day goes by, when this show drops Monday, I will be celebrating my 42nd trip around the sun. Isn't that what the Hotep say? Isn't that how is that?
Do Hoteps think we go around the sun? Like disc rotation, isn't that it? The flat earthers, or Hoteps are different than flat earthers. They're I guess
definitely. And just realizing, like you said, we had two losses at very young ages. That every day is not promised. You never think about. I don't ever think about not being here tomorrow. You know, like you just assume that and nothing, you know, the old folks said, you know, tomorrow's not promised. You're like, I get it, grandma. Tomorrow's not promised. But it's not, man. People are dying every minute, every second, every day. A lot of those people, you just assumed we're going to be here for a lot longer. So if I'm so fortunate to be here the day this drops, you know, so I'll be celebrating my 42nd birthday. So that's big. Don't have any plans yet. I was trying to plan some this weekend, but I ended up working and having an event instead. So trying to make these monies because it's not cheap around here. But besides that, just happy for the holidays, man. I'm really trying to get in the holiday spirit. It's been a little lagging this year, so I don't know what I need to do. The tree's up, Byron. Now that you've approved of that, but
very well.
You know, I still haven't put any other decorations up outside and all that. So I bought my popcorn. That makes
nice.
Yeah, I bought my popcorn. Still got my cookies. I haven't opened those yet. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to open my cookies.
Yeah, open your cookies. Byron was just had some hot chocolate with a candy cane in it and marshmallows, so he went all out. He like did a fancy hot cocoa.
Is Wykesha doing the was that Wykesha that was doing the hot cocoa bomb?
Yeah.
So wow, we need you to send it to Three Brothers some. I need some. My wife was actually asking about that a few weeks ago. My bad. If you're doing that again, we need it.
Yeah.
Put me down.
Got to get in the holiday spirit, man. Have you turned on Silent Night?
Oh yeah, I've been listening to
and rocking.
I put it on Christmas Station. I put it on my Pandora, my Jackson 5 holiday mix, and Pentatonics holiday mix is actually a pretty good one. So they're a acapella group that was on, I forgot the name of the show a few years ago where they had this acapella competition, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good, but they really have a niche around the holidays. So outside of that, there she is. Is that Sophie?
Yes, she's trying on her Shein haul. We need to make a whole Shein haul video.
Hello.
Hey.
Say hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Tell the people who are you? What's your name?
Skylar.
How old are you, Skylar?
7.
You know what? That's funny. Ollie's 7 too.
Yeah.
Ollie's 8. He turned 8.
He's 8 and I'm 9, but he never says we're correct.
So 7, 8, 9?
Yeah.
That's why 6 scared.
All right, Sophie, let's get a joke.
He's disappointed in you, Daddy.
That was a good joke. That was a good one. That was a good take on the whole. Yeah.
It was a good pun, but he's disappointed in you.
Okay, come on.
You ready for the joke?
My favorite queso is the one you keep around for emergencies. Just in queso. It's so stupid.
So bad.
She dissed your joke.
Who picked that one?
He did.
Of course he did. He's trying to bring you down, Sophie.
No.
He's a crab in a barrel.
Fine, I got another one.
You ready? You want another one? Okay, give us another one, Sophie.
Do you like this one? I don't want you trying to say it was my joke.
It was. And let's see it. Just got hospitalized due to a peekaboo accident. They put me in the ICU. Oh no. Very scary. Very, very scary.
That's a little better. It's a little
He
better.
picked the joke.
Yeah. We got to keep him around.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Great dude.
It's just not funny.
Right.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. I'm part of the podcast.
All right, tell Sophie bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sky.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Alrighty, here we go. So who wants to go first?
I can do that.
Okay.
Cool. I want you fellas to tell me something you don't like about America. Look at Ferg.
Just one thing.
There has to be some rules to this.
Okay. How about you can't say racism?
What about classism? What about ageism?
You can say ageism. You can say that.
Gender inequality.
I will say try to pick something because, like,
unique to America.
Yeah. If you can.
Is Trump racism? Was that the same thing?
No.
Trumpism?
Yeah, you definitely can say Trumpism.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I got one. I don't like the idea of American exceptionalism.
Okay, for those that don't know, what is American exceptionalism?
Okay, so American exceptionalism is the idea, almost like it manifests destiny and all of that, right? American exceptionalism is like America is the most exceptional country in the world. Everybody wants to come to America. Everything that we do is the right way, and everything, if you don't do it our way, then you're wrong, or you're backwards, or you're a third world country, or you're developing, or whatever, because you're not doing it our way. And the idea that nobody is smarter than us, nobody can do anything better than us. That's the idea when it comes to American exceptionalism. So it was really, really prominent, especially during the 20s and on into the. It's funny, but pre-Jim Crow, when we were still like segregated and everything else, but somehow we thought America still was the greatest nation in the world. And that's that. I won't say that because I do feel like, I think we had that discussion. I do feel like America is the greatest nation in the world. I feel like here's where I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, right? But the idea of American exceptionalism is that everything we do is generally right, and everything that anybody else does, if it's different, that it doesn't make sense. That's the part I don't like about America. I don't like that we go to other countries and feel like their cultures, their traditions are backwards or wrong. What they eat is weird compared to what America eats. How they, dress, and how they even design their homes and everything else. It's like everything has to be the American standard. And I don't like that. I've been to enough countries, I've been in enough places that there's some pretty cool stuff out there, pretty cool people. And a lot of people don't want to come to America. A lot of people are like, I like my country. I like living in my country. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. And that same idea and pride that we have in America, they have in their countries. And so I don't like that we are kind of like almost damn near xenophobic when it comes to that. We're like, it's us versus everybody else.
God bless America and no place else.
Right.
It is.
I mean, as you were saying that's the first thing that popped in my mind. I think that's a really good one, Razi. And I don't know if this is unique to America, so I'm struggling with this. And it might be very similar to the conservative spirit. America does not want to change for,
because of exceptionalism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, right. It's just, and I don't even, it's part of that, but even the stuff that they admit is wrong, or we know is blatantly wrong, is just like the racism and all the things that, you know, we can't use racism as an example, but it's like, dog, like you gotta, okay. So maybe I can't use that one then. We are a walking oxymoron.
Do tell.
I mean, let's start with separation of church and state. You mean, to me, that when it comes to politics in America, that's kind of how that's one of the big things, separation of church and state, but everything is based off of Judeo-Christian values, from abortion to, I don't know when we start doing marriage. I mean, it's just the LGBTQIA community. Like, everything is based off of Judeo-Christian standards, but there's a separation. And I mean, we say we live in a democracy. It's not a democracy. We say our voice is for the people. It's not. I mean, that's the big thing right now. Even when they're talking about, and Buff, you probably can help with this right now, states' rights when it comes to elections. It's like, I think what's going on in North Carolina right now, is that where it's really hot talking about it, where they want to be able to have the state control everything that has to do with elections, but it's meaning that the government and the state can basically overturn the people's vote. But I mean, it's just like, we say these things, we talk about the Bill of Rights, we talk about the Constitution, and it's so apparent that we're fooling ourselves. We can have the exact same, we can use that exact same amendment to, or whatever, to say why we're for something or why we're against something in the same argument. It's just like, it's just so, there's no common sense. We lean on this, I don't know, man. I can't. I just got frustrated. I'm sorry.
It sounds like all three of our answers are the same, and we're just like picking different ways to say it. My answer is our ignorance overall. And it ties into a lot of what Razi said, but just like, we have a percentage of this country that rails against socialism, but they can't quite tell you the definition of socialism, and they benefit from socialism.
Yeah.
But they rail against. We have a segment of this country, or should I say a percentage of this country, they can't point out certain countries on a map. Not only are we ignorant, but we embrace the ignorance sometimes, to where we want to bury our true history if it's bad. If it's bad, we've talked about, trying to change what happened with slavery and everything in these school systems, especially like in Florida and Texas and things. They want to bury that because it makes people feel bad.
Buff, it's funny. I can't remember, it was a post or something, and it was just like one of these fake journalists or something, and they were interviewing people about it might not be exactly like this, but they were talking about how U.S. is beefing with Agrabah. And should we go to war with them, or something along those lines? And people like, yeah, and the way they do that, like, people had full-fledged ignorant opinions of Agrabah. And for those that don't know, Agrabah is the city or country in Aladdin. But these people were really like, they were being interviewed, and they had true disdain for this country, because it just sounded like that's where all terrorists go to study or whatever. I don't know what it was, but they just...
Did you see the video where they were like, they're teaching Arabic numerals in schools, and people were like, they shouldn't be teaching that, yada, yada, yada. Again, that's what we use for our regular numbers. Like, those are regular numbers.
It's just, we go against things regardless. We want to fight. I don't know.
You started your answer off with, can we say Trumpism? But I feel like our ignorance is part of the reason why someone like Trump can rise and become president and say the things that he said that may sound good, but when you like peel back the layers and get to the facts, it's like that's not true. But people, we do not care about facts a lot in this country, and this country can like bang the drums on, like, we determine who's good and who's bad. Like, anytime we go after a dictator in the country, we always say, oh, they're brutal, they kill their own people. There are so many leaders like this that we give money to all the time. We don't care about who's brutal to their own people. We care when you don't do what we tell you to do.
Right.
That's when we care. Saddam Hussein was like that. That loser got the key to the city one time. and I think it was Detroit. He got a key to the city. So, but once he stopped, doing what we wanted him to do or interfering when we was in Kuwait or whatever like that, then he became our enemy. Bin Laden, we gave him weapons. Okay, but then...
He was a freedom fighter that we supported.
When he was supporting us against Russia. Yeah. We wanted him to fight Russia.
So we pick and choose, like, we have removed dictators throughout history. And so our ignorance, and like I said, Razi took like 75% of my answer with that American exceptionalism, because I was going to call it false bragging, number one. Like, we love to say we're number one. In what? We're number one. It's like that opening scene on the Newsroom, that show that had 3 seasons on HBO. Like, that opening scene, you don't have to watch the show. Just watch that opening scene on episode 1. America is number one in incarcerating people. Maybe even drug usage too. But we're not number one in education. We're not number one in anything that matters except brute strength and military spending.
Football.
The other football at that, because the world recognizes football.
Yeah, because World Cup is happening right now.
Yeah.
Perfect example. We refuse the rest of the world.
Yeah.
All right, y'all trying to play football? You mean soccer? What the fuck is soccer?
I kick the ball with my foot. Very simple to call it football. No, we don't want to do that.
But what the fuck is soccer?
Yeah, it's crazy though. But that's it. I mean, I guess it's gonna sound like we hate America, and I shouldn't have to say this. I love it here.
This might be what cancels us.
Yeah,
this might be it.
Yeah. But I just wanted to point that there should be something you can point out too. But
and again, the ultimate form of caring and loving the nation is actually criticizing it and saying, hey, here's some black guys, here's some faults, right? A good friend would tell you when you have your faults, and not just say you're the greatest thing in the world. Girl, you look good in that dress, go out in it. Like, a good friend could be like, nah, take that off.
That ain't it. Yeah, that ain't it. Right there, sis. It's usually the people that have the flag avies in their social media profile. They're usually the least patriotic. They say they love America. They love America in the image.
They love the conservative America that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
They love America the way they want to view America. Mm-hmm. And if you challenge anything that comes with those Judeo-Christian views, usually
Judeo-Christian views.
Throw that in there. Clayton Bixby speech.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been a lot of places. I've seen some troubling times. I mean, some troubling places, and there are a lot of safeties and benefits that come from being an American. But like you said, I mean, you know what? What I dislike the most about America is our potential that we just don't see. Like, we truly could be unequivocally the greatest nation in the world. Like, we have so much diversity. We have so many things that we could do right, but we just don't want to.
Yeah, the lack of
this is something I never thought about until right now as you were speaking, Ferg. The Lannisters in Game of Thrones. Is that family a personification of America? You know how they are looked at as this rich family, but when they had private conversations, they were in a lot of debt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have money like that. And they were once known as this, and they have a lot of ignorance as far as, like, brother and sister fucking and shit like that. But I mean, like,
incest, bro.
You said it, and then gonna surprise.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
I don't know why incest sounded worse. I don't know why. Not claiming one of the sons because he's a dwarf.
Right, right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a good kind of parallel there.
Yeah.
Oh man, but appreciate y'all playing along.
Yeah, no, I like that, bro. Yeah, man, we have so much potential. We could be so good, and I think that's what people love about America. It's like that's why you love hate it. Is if we could get right, we're like that football team or that basketball, that soccer team or that basketball team that. If we just realized our potential, we're the bad news bears. We're that if we just have all the right stuff there, and if we can just you know what, let's just choose the best candidate. Let's not play this, the Dems versus Republicans. Let's just choose the best candidate. Who's going to benefit us the most? You know what? There's something going on. Maybe we should look into this global warming thing. But when global warming's tied to, abortions, you can't do what's right. So I don't know.
Our ignorance is our counter argument to global warming is it's cold outside. It snowed yesterday, so there can't be no global warming. That's America right there.
Remember what I was explaining? Climate versus temperature and weather. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, it's I mean, we fight against so many things, and let's go. Next question. I don't want. God bless America.
Yeah, you want to go or you want me to jump in?
In no other place.
My question might align somewhat with Byron's. We're going back to talk about America. Do you believe the American dream was ever real? And do you think it's attainable for recent generations, or do we need to, or has it switched?
It was real for white people, and it's become even less real for them now as.
So when was this? This one?
Early 1900s. Up until maybe somewhere after World War II, I guess.
Okay.
I'll say I think the dream was real and is real, right? I when you talk about is it attainable? Was it attainable? Always no, right? It was attainable for certain people at certain times, right? White people could do it, black people couldn't. Post segregation. Or desegregation, right, before the end, but you still had even black people that could attain the dream every once in a while, right? You had your talented 10th, as they were called, or those black people that could make it out and achieve the dream, and so there were even pockets of black people or minorities that were making and having the American dream, even in the 20s, 30s, 40s, or whatever. So I think the dream is there. I think it being attainable has always been a part of why it was the dream, right? It's it's hard to get, and so I want it, and I want to try to get to it. And those white people in the 40s and 50s, they had a much easier chance of getting it. But now it's getting to be where it's not about color as much as it's about economic status, your head start, where you started at now versus where you are gonna end up, right? And then you talk about you add in inflation and everything else. It's just harder, right? We're not increasing the minimum wage. When you talk about true capitalism, probably is the best way to say it, is 100% capitalism, and the idea that companies are going to take care of their people regardless, right? That just doesn't jive with what we've seen with true capitalism. And so, Buff, you talked about the whole people want to rail against socialism, but the thing is, a lot of socialism is what it contributed to and got a lot of people the American dream, right? Those social services and programs is what made people be able to get the American dream or attain the American dream that didn't have that head start. So I think attainability is the hardest part of it. And I'd say right now it's very difficult to obtain the American dream because the dream has increased. Before,
yes, it has.
A 2-bedroom, 1-bath house with a white picket fence was the American dream, right? And now you have that. That's trash because social media told me that I need a 5-bedroom, 3,000 square foot house with, glass windows everywhere and hardwood floors and everything else. So the dream has morphed because social media has let the dream morph. And so now I don't think it's as attainable.
I think I said after World War II, but maybe a little more recent than that. I would say maybe the beginning, sometime during Reagan administration, because during that administration, that's when we saw one of the biggest wealth gaps between the rich and the poor. And I remember the economy just being like H.W. Bush inherited such a bad economy from Reagan. That American dream that Razi was talking about, I was going to hit on that too. It has expanded. It's no longer the one person, the one adult household. Well, not income. The one adult income that can go work and have enough to pay all the bills, the mortgage, and take the family on vacation in the summer and all that stuff like that, and have a savings and pay for college for the kids and everything like that. Like the cost have increased, the wages haven't kept up, and the dream has expanded. Like Razi said, to where you almost need 2 incomes and a side hustle and like some type of other income as well. So it's still attainable, but it's difficult as hell.
Yeah, you guys hit on a lot of great points. So I always look at, I grew up in the 80s, so we watched a lot of TV, and a lot of the shows were around that nuclear family, that American dream, or some version of it. Even when they were supposed to kind of be poor, they still...
Al Bundy.
Yeah, Al Bundy sold shoes. He had a 4-bedroom... 3-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, 2 stories, 2-car garage. Was able to still take his family on trips. Homer Simpson. I mean,
and he wasn't working at Christian Louboutin. He was working at a regular shoe store.
Yeah, think about it. All the shows from the 60s, 70s, 80s. So to me, the baby boomers and the early Gen Xers were the last people who truly got to experience that American dream that I think was obtainable, because as you guys kind of said, standards were a little lower. It was that 2-bedroom house, being enough to, take your family on vacation. It was a lot of single households.
Yeah, and vacation wasn't, hey, we got to go 3
Grand
states
Canyon.
over, whatever. It was like, we're going to get in the car and we're going to drive 8 hours. What was it, National Lampoon's type thing. We get in the station wagon, we drive there.
Yeah, so it was obtainable even for Black families. It was a different dream, but we have a lot of our grandparents and stuff that the grandmother didn't have to work. They had a house. Some even had land, and they had things. They were a lot more comfortable to a certain extent. Now they didn't have the lavish lives we live, but they still, granddad brought his check home. He could do certain things. It was the nuclear family was strong. You had one person at the house that was always with the kids and, being able to take care of them and help them with certain things. You don't have that now. When minimum wage is what, $7.80, $7.90, something like that. And a lot of these people have to work multiple jobs just to survive. So to me, the American dream is if you could work an honest living, work hard, and be willing to work, you can provide for your family, even if it's a 2-income family. And that is not the case today. So that's on the lower end. But I mean, we were told to go to college, we grew up in that era where going to college was the way to go. Like that's pretty much your, that's what we were told we needed to do. Mm-hmm. You go to college, you get a good job, you make money, have a wife, have kids, and 3-bed, 2-bath, white picket fence. Such is life. I remember watching movies. Think about all these movies in the 80s and 90s, people getting these summer jobs to pay their way through college. Caddyshack. Like, this is what people are doing. A summer job doesn't pay for books these days. You know, like, and that's the thing, going back to that conservatives, you know, that's what's wrong with the world today. You know, we had to work and pay our way through dude, you can't do that. You got to take out student loans. You got to do these things. It's a trap. And so the boomers and early Gen Xers were the last people to really benefit from a lot of these programs. So that American dream, if you work hard and get a decent job, you can. Take a step back. What was the biggest commercial growing up with somebody who can start from the bottom, get a nice 9 to 5, and be respected in his community and make a difference? Good old Calvin. Don't like that was really. No, you can work at McDonald's. You know, start off on the washing lettuce, then you clean the fries. Freaking Coming to America made a joke of this. Like, though, if you had a decent job where you're willing to work and potentially work your way up, you could live the American dream and be okay. And that's just so far. And has the American dream changed for us? Do we still need to be pushing our kids have we adapted and where we're leading our children and stuff to them? Do we want all our kids to go to college? You know, and if they're going to college, are we just saying get a degree and they get the degree and, you know, they're making, I think the average college graduate coming out is making around $40,000 a year. Some of them might cap out at $60,000, $65,000 a year, but they got $100,000 in student loans. And that's not bad money by any means. It's still more than the median American income, household income. What I'm saying is we're telling them these things and we're like, because that's all we know. We still look towards the American dream as this is how you become successful. You know, get married. A lot of people aren't getting married these days. You know, all those things that we believed, you know, have kids and all this stuff. Maybe that's not their future. Maybe you become an entrepreneur. Maybe you get a trade. Maybe you don't start a family. Maybe you just like to travel. Maybe you're, you know, do we need to be more open to what the American dream is? Or is it time to get rid of the American dream and say live your dream?
Or the American dream is living your dream.
I was gonna say, I don't think people look at it as trying to obtain an American dream. They look at it as living, like Razi said, for the most part, that social media life. So some of it is our fault. Like, wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, but some of it is our fault. Some of the things that we want and don't necessarily need, like, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's great for your mental health, but like taking 8 trips a year, that's not necessarily what you need. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a lot of people want to do now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, working with young men and seeing some of the clothes and things they can afford, and it's so funny because they're the offspring of social media and reality TV shows. Yeah. Does that make sense? And like to see, you know, a 14-year-old in $300, $400 pair of Yeezys. You know, like these dudes, they might have a $600-$700 outfit on, and it's like, we know you don't buy that. Like, what are we instilling in kids? What are we instilling in? But it's the parents are just as bought in. The kids are being taught this is the way to go, and it's just scary what the future is going to be. And then think, how do they get here? We know you don't have a job. We know you can't afford this stuff. So it's honestly, Razi and Buff are buying it. So who are you really impressing? Girl, he got money. No, his parents got money.
Right.
You know, it's. But then they get there, and I had this talk with a family member during Thanksgiving, and he was talking about, oh my God, it wasn't. Let's say it was a Louis, what kind of bag was it? Messenger bag. And he wanted a messenger bag for school. It's $1,000 messenger bag. He's in high school. And
Shit, if it's Louis, it's probably more than that.
I want to say it was Louis. I Versace, one of those. He's like, but you know what? I understand that sometimes you can't get what you want, so I'm willing to get a Michael Kors bag. It's only like $200 something, but it's on sale right now for like $179. So you're saving $40 something. I'm like, I'm saving $179 at sale price and $225 regular price. You better get this JanSport. But in his mind, he deserved that. Like he deserved, I feel like if you go to school, you get grades and stuff like that, you should be able to get these things. I'm like, why? What have you done? And I'm like, what's good grades? You got all A's? Nah. All B's? Nah. I got a couple of C's, and if when I take this test, I should pull my D up to a C in whatever class. What are we talking about? What are we really talking about here? But that's the generation now. They feel entitled. These are the kids that are ordering DoorDash to school, eating $20 lunches every day.
That's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's definitely a thing. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
These kids are eating. They eat better than you. They eat better than you. Think about that. Think about being in high school, being able to DoorDash, or where we couldn't go because we didn't have a ride. Being able to Uber or take a Lyft wherever you wanted to go. You mentioned gone fishing. Imagine Byron got a little job, he got a little money. So imagine being able to order gone fishing to bring your lunch up to school on a Friday. Just flex.
I most definitely would have did that.
Yeah, that's the kind of things they're doing now.
Shrimp dinner.
And if they don't work, they're still doing it because Byron's doing it and Razi's doing. I can't be the only person going in and getting the stop sign pizza.
Yeah. Yep.
The American dream, even as a young man, young woman, it's crazy. But
good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all, take Zysol. At night.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
It's on me? Oh, that wasn't my question.
That was your question, yeah.
Bring it home, Razi.
Let's see. So I saw a post, and I'll just read it to you guys. It says, do not come out to eat with us if you're only drinking, having one drink at that. This isn't a bar bit. You could have stayed home. And then they said the bill came to $1,017. Here comes these two, like, I only got a drink. Then, sweetie, why did you come? Never will I go to dinner with these chicks other than it says other than my friends again. So I wanted you guys take on that. Are you okay going out with folks if they don't partake, drink, and engage at the dinner, right? They come, they have a drink or whatever, even if they have conversations or whatever, but they're not actually eating, actually engaging, and then I guess are unwilling to split the bill at that point because that's all they had. Do you guys think there's an issue with that? Should the person have stayed home? Should they come? That type of thing. If they're not going to kind of partake in whatever you guys are doing.
Ooh, I sense disagreement in this question. You need to pay what you owe. You go out with a group of friends. I don't believe in that split the bill evenly. I've done it before, but I ain't like it. I don't believe in that. Because it's too many times. Case in point, the reason I don't is the same reason why I don't let people know when I'm going to pay for their meal until the bill comes. Because when you tell people you're going to pay for their bill, they start ordering shit they don't normally order. So I'm not finna go out with a group of people and have 2 or 3 people ordering they don't know. All of a sudden, they want to try the Louis XIV Remy Martin. No, not on my dime. No, sir. Pay what you owe, include the tip, include the tax, and everybody should be fine. And that way, you can drink as much as you like, eat as much as you like, as long as you're willing to pay for it. I might not want to drink that much that day. Pay what you owe.
So with that though, should the person that doesn't want to drink or doesn't want to eat at that expensive restaurant, should they come take up the seat and be with you guys if that's all they're getting?
Are they invited?
I assume so.
Yeah, if they want to go, yeah. Yeah.
Ferg, you looking like, what's going on?
That might be the dumbest question we've had on this show. What are we talking about? What's going on?
No, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. Like people out there.
I know, but it's like, are you serious? Like, I came to hang out with you guys, and because I just like, you know what? I ate before I left. I just wanted to come. I ain't seen y'all in a while. You know, Slim's in town. I ain't seen him. You know, I got to work tomorrow. I got to get up early and I'm going to work out. And I'm I'm going to come have a drink and, you know, just chill and enjoy good conversation and keep it moving. $1,000? You're mad at me because somehow we ran up y'all ran up $1,000 tab. You know, as a matter of fact, you know how, and I've never done this, but I see why certain people do this. They go get up and they go order their goddamn drinks at the bar. Now we got our waitress right here. No, I'm good. I'm just go to the bar real quick. Because I know what kind of dumb shit y'all on. What kind of, like, what you eat don't make me or pay? Like, I mean, what does that have to do? Especially, and then, you know what's worse? Because I've seen this happen. Let's say we go order a dozen oysters. Well, you order a dozen oysters for the table. I eat an oyster. You eat 11. Now we splitting the goddamn oysters. I'm be like Chris Rock on what was that? I'm gonna get you some. How much for oyster?
One rib.
I mean, I've seen this, and it's just like. Now my thing is, and I've been in those situations where it's reasonable, and you know, like we're just ordering, we're drinking, you know, like it's cool. We're not going crazy. I don't necessarily need no, you had 2 margaritas because you had the Patron margarita. I had the house margarita. Like, no, it's 3 of us and the bill's $120. You know, like just let's split, keep on trucking because we're about to go someplace else and I might buy the next round of drinks. Like, it's not like that. But when we're trying to go out and you're trying to impress people, or you already in your mind, like, I'm gonna spend $500 on this, I need to know what kind of party we're on. So I'm okay splitting if I'm watching the table, I'm doing the math in my head, and it's like, okay, let me see that tab. Ooh, nah. I had the prime rib. That was good. Okay. No, you supposed to take this one off because it had, you know, like I'm be that person.
I've actually been a part of that for real. Like in real life, I went out with some coworkers and it was mixed company. It was coloreds and white people. And I told one of my white coworkers, I'll never forget this restaurant. It was Raised the Steaks in Arlington, Virginia. We went and I said, hey, Mike, I don't know if you've been out to dinner with black people before, but I'm going to let you know. When the bill comes, nobody's going to volunteer to pay that bill. I know when you probably go out with your people, someone grabs a check and say, no, Eric, I got it this time. I got it. That's not going to happen here tonight. Let me assure you. I said, you're going to see some argument. And sure enough, when we got there, I told the waitress, hey, I want my bill separate from the table. And sure enough, when that bill came, what Ferg just did is exactly what they did. Nope. You had the 2 glasses of wine. Nope. You had the 32-ounce ribeye. No. I know I said I got appetizers for the table, but you ate 3 of them. So I was like, and I paid my bill and sat back, and Mike looked at me. He could not believe the accuracy in which I described it.
How many times do you think he said niggas in his head?
I don't know. It had to be at least 8.
But you know what's funny? Because like if we do that, if I order something for the table, I'll pay for that. Like if I ordered the oysters and we split, I'll get the oysters. I don't expect you to, we go to Winslow's. I can't sit there like, okay, oysters are $23.98. Razi ate 6. No, he ate 7. I ate 5, but we ain't gonna be petty. I'll cut it down the middle. It's just like, no, I got the oysters. It's cool. Like, know.
And Razi did because he's allergic to oysters.
Because that's the loophole they try to use. People will say I'll order for the table, but then they want everybody to pitch in on the. Right. If you order for the table, that means you are treating the table.
See, you got to realize they don't ever say they're ordering for the table. It's like, y'all want nachos?
Yeah, give us some nachos. Give us some nachos. Yeah.
Y'all want nachos? Everybody good with nachos? Okay, nachos. Let's get a picture of, and that's how that goes.
Yeah, that's true. Just so that I can kind of close it and answer the question, I do agree that's the dumbest thing in the world, to think that I can't come have a good time with my friends, if y'all really my friends, just because I don't want to eat right now, or I don't want to eat at this expensive restaurant, or I don't want to spend money, today. I think that shows that person's not a good friend. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And if anybody ever came to you and was like, hey, they had an issue with you not drinking enough when they were out or whatever, you don't need to be hanging with that person anyway.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. So that post, it pissed me off because there were, like y'all said, there were a lot of people that were agreeing with it. And I was like, oh my God, y'all are horrible friends.
And that's why they follow that person.
Probably.
Now, maybe they misquoted. Maybe it's like you went out with them, you didn't order anything, but you ate everything. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Now I'm good. Can we try one of those? You gonna eat that? Like, maybe that. It has to be something. But you know what? I appreciate those people. Tell me if I offend you and I go out and I don't eat enough or drink enough and you have a problem with how much I'm spending. Please tell me. Please. Because guess what I'll do? I will never go out with you again. I will make it a point. Thank you. Help me figure out who my real friends are.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you know what? I ain't want to bring this up, dog. But last time we went out, Razi spent $127 on dinner. I spent like $119, and you spent like $12 on some nachos. And I just feel like, moving forward, if you can't at least have $100 tab, and we can split that bitch 3 ways, and you need to stay at home. And then I even came to pick you up, so you didn't have to pay for gas. And nigga, fuck out of here. Let's go ahead and close it out, fellas.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because it's time to save at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through February 23rd, take an extra 40% off red tag clearance boots, jackets, and sweaters. We're talking the best cold weather styles from Vince, Cole Haan, Sam Edelman, and more. All on sale for even less. All sales final. You never know what you'll find, but you know it's gonna be so good. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
I want to start off by saying thank you, Atlanta, ×2. First, thank you, Atlanta, for bringing home that election We were recording on Wednesday. Georgia just had their election between Herschel Walker and Senator Warnock, and Warnock pulled it off. Almost predicted it right. That's right, because he says it's a compliment. Mm-hmm. So it's not even derogatory. Warnock won by, I think, 3 points. I had predicted 4. But so thank you, because it was close until they finished counting like Fulton County, I believe. So thank you, Atlanta. And also thank you, Atlanta, the show. I actually need to rewatch the entire series again, because I didn't always give it my undivided attention, but I did watch enough episodes to know that it was a very smart, Black, different type of show that was needed. I think it was needed, and it was good to watch, and I can't wait till I start back and just binge it again. They just finished their final season. It's 4 seasons. You can catch up on it on Hulu. But just thank you for that show. Thank you, Atlanta, for coming out to vote. And I think that's all. I think I had one more thing. It may come to me in a minute, but you guys go ahead.
Yeah. Just continuation with the thank you to Atlanta, because both of the articles that we were featured in, both were Atlanta-based magazines. So, appreciate the love that we're getting over there, especially since either 3 of us are, none of us. Atlanta, none of us are neither 3. None of us are Atlanta based, and we still get a lot of love in the city. And so we appreciate that a lot. And then happy birthday, Ferg. I know you brought it up, but that was going to be my closing to kind of make sure we kind of called you out, man. So you've been there for me in so many birthdays. So I'm going to make a commitment next year. We're doing it big for your birthday as you turn 43. So get ready for it.
Nice. Before you take over, the last thing, we had a listener that told us that we are a little hard on the Democrats. They've been listening to the show since its beginning. Said we were hard on the Democrats, and we need to show them some love with the historic midterm that they had and holding the line against that so-called red wave. I felt like we did after this past midterm, but we have been hard on the Dems, and they do deserve, even if it's temporary, even if it was a mistake, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, bro, don't give them half as compliment.
I'm just saying. No, because I know that's what some people will say.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is they barely lost the House. They gained a seat in the Senate with a president that's dealing with a low approval rating and had inflation. Like, Republicans had a good argument, even though inflation is worldwide, but they had a good argument and they still couldn't pull it off. So them deserve some credit, and I hope they build on it, and I hope they're already planning for 2024.
Yeah, I'm scared of that because I've listened to a lot of the Republican pundits after this, and the Republicans are on talking points. They are on it 100%. I haven't heard a Republican going off script. I've heard them talking about, like you said, that economy and inflation and all the things that they are, the cases that they had to make. They are on point now because I think it shocked them with that. And so they're going to get back to the game plan, and it's going to be a hard fought battle in 24.
Thank God for Trump. He gonna distract them.
They keep talking about Hunter Biden too. Yeah. Like, you're talking about inflation is a huge problem, but you're going to focus your attention on Hunter Biden. So
that's object number one, right? That's the most critical thing to the safety of the country.
So if they want to go after a non-elected official, then by all means, Dems plan, plot, strategize, like Tupac said.
Yeah.
And ball hurts.
So once again, thank you, Atlanta. Maybe we'll call the show "Thank You, Atlanta."
I like that.
Because after a Trump 2016, he lost in 2020, and to come back, this was to me the biggest, and maybe I'm overthinking it, biggest reflection of the country if Walker would have won this. It just shows that, like, it doesn't matter. It never will matter. It is. And it just to have a short runoff with all the obstacles, somehow they pulled it off. And this guy is just horrible. But more importantly, my point is, we talked about mental health and everything for the holidays. what I want to take a second to talk about is financial responsibility for the holidays. People, don't break your back this year trying to impress, feel obligated to spend money that you don't have, because December 26th is just another day. It'll be the day after Christmas. People will love you, but don't enter the new year stressed out financially. It's not worth it, especially after the conversation we had recently about the expectations with the American dream and trying to impress these kids and all this stuff, or the spouse, the wife that wants the Louis bag and doesn't feel like if you don't get her the bag, you don't love her, or whatever the case may be. People, don't go down that rabbit hole. Stay in your budget. Be smart. It's not worth it. So, anything else, fellas?
Oh, just about that being smart. You guys know I always talk about the whole Santa Claus thing. Don't have Santa Claus bring in the most expensive gift out there, because some kids, their Santa Claus might not bring them that really, really expensive gift. So, unless you're one of those parents that Santa brings everything, if you do limit what Santa brings, try to get the more, conservative gift and put it in there, because some of the other kids aren't getting those huge gifts like that.
Yeah, good one. So, once again, let's take a break to all of our Inspire You on air, the new Beat of the Bay listeners. Thank you for chiming in and listening. We thank you once again, Inspire You, for giving us opportunity to showcase our talent and to spread it to the world. Excited to finish this year out and see what the new year brings. Hopefully we'll see you guys in Mobile for Mardi Gras. There's a bunch of events, and the brothers will be down there in full effect. So looking forward to that and connecting with our Inspire You family. Once again, 3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.